All right, so now we don't have any other new business. Recommendations from city officers, our city manager.
The one item I have, I really can approve it administratively, and I have. The VSI committee has already approved using $28,000 of seawall maintenance money to repair help with the lock project that they're doing. They found some damaged wood. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. We are moving forward on that project as quickly as we can.
Thank you. City Attorney?
Nothing more. Thank you.
Nothing? Okay. Mining is still in the works.
Well, I was going to say, I just got more documents last Friday, so
Working through them.
on it. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And that was, I told him the priority was Fisherman's Village. That's why
That was
he
the
hasn't.
priority.
He'll get
Well,
back.
thank you, Howard.
He'll get
nice
back
of you
to
say
it.
that.
He'll get back to it.
Our city clerk.
Yes, under boards and committees. Starting with vacancies, we have an unexpired term on the Historic Preservation Advisory Board as a regular member. We have 2 continuing vacancies on the Historic Preservation Advisory Board for those were 2 alternate members. And we have 1 unexpired term on the Utility Advisory Board. Under nominations, we have 2 4-year terms on the Punta Gorda Housing Authority, and we have 4 eligible applicants for nomination.
Nominate all.
Thank you. And also under nominations, we have a 3-year term on the Utility Advisory Board. We have 1 eligible applicant. If you would like to nominate and appoint, you may do so.
Move to nominate and appoint.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to nominate and appoint. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then finally, under appointments, we have a 2-year term on the Firefighters Pension Board. We have 2 applicants, and voting forms are being distributed.
And the appointee is David Baird.
Thank you.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you. Under policy and legislation, I really don't have anything, except I would like to invite everyone that in recognition of our April 25th March for Peace, Justice, and Community Unity Day, it would be nice to have all of us participate in the march. The information is available. They're going to have a bus to take you at 8 o'clock from Lashley over to the other side of the bridge. 9 o'clock, the march starts from the north side of the 41 bridge and coming south to Lashley. At 10 o'clock, there will be a program. So if anyone can participate in any part of it, you're welcome to come. Invited. That's all I have. Council member comments? None? Rachel? Tom?
Yes, at Monday's meeting of the Vietnam Wall Committee, they've announced that they've now raised in excess of $190,000.
Oh, isn't that
Wow.
wonderful?
Wow.
They have
Wonderful.
negotiated an agreement with a new granite supplier, about $20,000 more than the original, but they're pleased with it, and they've authorized to issue a 50% down payment for the granite wall, and that'll be done over the next couple of weeks or within a month or so. I have a copy of the contract, which I'll leave with Karen, and she can give a copy to all of us. They also have come out with another fundraising idea. It's a license plate that you can put on your car. And I spoke with Howard about it, and we were thinking that if you all agree, if we could leave this in the city clerk's office, and she could advise folks when they come in where it might be available. If you all think that's a good idea, then we can just go ahead and leave it with the
Is that
clerk.
agreeable?
Great idea.
Mm-hmm. That'll be fine.
No, we're not going to
Stop.
accept payment here.
No,
Just
but let them know it's available.
It's available. That's all I have.
Thank you. Kim?
I just want to, I wanted to ask you, have any of you, I got a lot of phone calls last night about the compressed natural gas. Did anyone go? I guess there was a meeting last night.
The school board?
Yes. Did you go?
No, I just saw it on TV.
Okay. There seems to be a lot, I just want to bring up, there seems to be a lot of upset parents and that kind of thing, and more information to come, but I didn't know if any of you had any information or on,
Howard, do you?
I mean, I
Rachel?
was contacted months ago
me too.
about, it's started as a group, FFA alumni, because they are planning to use the FFA area, which is now program area for kids, as part of the station. And the concern that they have as being a parent of Punta Gorda Middle, and next year probably a parent of a Charlotte High School student, is that the station is directly across from Charlotte High, CPAC, and Punta Gorda Middle School. And my concern is that this is not a retail gas station. This is meant for large vehicles, trash trucks, buses, semi-tractor trailers. Those are the vehicles that are going to be pulling in and out of that station 24 hours a day. I mean, the traffic alone, and I discussed this with urban design, you know, the traffic alone scares me. You know, that you're conflicting with, I mean, the concentration of population during the daytime over there is huge. You know, it has to be the most in the city when school's in session. I think they have a valid point with the location of the station. I always envisioned it at the end of Florida Street. You know, they're talking about Cheney Brothers and, you know, that whole area down there. Why is it going directly in across from our schools instead of in a more industrial area? I understand that the school board owns that piece of property, but
Is it zoned commercial industrial? I mean, I'm just wondering. I mean, I had concerns like the traffic was one. Yeah, you know, they're telling me that these trucks, that trucks can explode, that they can be as touchy and sometimes caused just by cell phone use. I don't know, you know, like I said, more information to come. I know they're upset about it. But so what's the evacuation route? Are our guys the first guys and gals, the first responders? Are they prepared for it? Do they understand this compressed natural gas? I mean, there was a lot of questions that went on for about 3 hours. So I was just wanting to get some feedback if you had any similar conversations.
I mean, it's my understanding that it's school board owned property, that they can do what they want despite the zoning. You know, they've done signage that wasn't allowed. They've done other things that's not allowed because of their, what's the term?
Well, I disagree.
Superpower?
I disagree too, but what is
They're claiming that they're exempt.
they're claiming they're exempt from zoning. So basically, they would say to the city, doesn't matter what it's zoned, we're gonna put our gas station there. So, I mean, the traffic is my number one concern and should be for everybody. Just because of even the road structure there, we maintain Cooper Street, correct?
Yes.
I mean, that's our city road, and those trucks that are coming off of I-75, the most likely pattern would to be come down Cooper Street. Now, we could restrict that, and then we have to enforce that. I don't know, there are a lot of questions.
Have we got
We
any-
did have their project manager come to council a while ago and talk about the project.
And I believe they did talk about that specific area
They did.
for the.
They did, and they talked
the
about
station.
traffic, they talked about permitting, they talked about the safeguards. I mean, do you want to have them come again?
Yes.
Do you want to hear the information
I
again?
think it makes sense, yes.
I mean, it
I
is
mean,
Punta Gorda.
I think there's quite a group of, I'll find out. Like I said, this happened late last night, so I didn't have time to
No, there's been a
follow
group
up.
active, I
Okay,
understand.
but-
Would you like us to invite them back and explain, again, go through the process of where they
Bless
are?
you.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy? Nancy, comments?
Yes, I do. We did receive a letter from Mr. Hadaway from FDOT in regard to the request for a warrant study on the Madrid Boulevard opening into US 41. That did not meet with the satisfaction of Birdstar Isles Association nor myself.
I don't believe that's acceptable.
I don't think it was, yeah, I agree with you. And so I discussed with Howard, and we talked with Bob Harrington, and it's like, we need to do something. And I just want council's support that we need to, I'm not sure what the next step is.
Well, I would like to recommend that we first send to Mr. Hadaway a letter indicating that there are still issues, that they established, you know, the no-turn lanes initially. They caused the problem, and therefore they should help resolve the problem. I will then bring it up at the MPO. We were saying that while it is a local issue, MPO has had an impact on other local things that we've done. So I'll just let him know that I'm going to plan to bring it up at MPO and hope that he has a resolution for us.
I guess my question to you is, would you like for me to put together a document that summarizes the whole situation? Because I don't know if from his response, I'm not sure he's getting the fact that their decisions have caused a problem.
That would
He
be
just
great,
sees
Nancy.
that it's, so I'd be glad to put that together
That would be great.
and get Birdstar Isles Association input on it. And because I don't think he understands the impact on the shopping center as well. Their decisions have caused this. And
That would be good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
okay,
Thank you. And then that letter will come from council.
okay.
And then we'll send that, and then that'll be the letter then that will follow up. And I do believe that we should then indicate that I will be bringing it up at the MPO as well. So we'll
Thank you.
modify that a little bit depending on what
Thank you, because
come
I
up
think in
with.
talking with Howard and the president of the Birdstar Isles Association, traffic calming measures, which he suggests we should try traffic calming measures. It's like, really? It's going to...
It'll push people to the next street, which according to
Exactly.
the one gentleman, well, BSI president, had
Mhm.
indicated that will then, that's a street that has golf carts passing, et cetera. So, I mean, there are a lot of other issues that need to be addressed.
Yes. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anything else to come before council? Any citizens' comments? Our former mayor, welcome.
Thank you. Bill Albers, for the record. Hey, I wanted to thank you for holding that workshop 2 weeks ago about the bird cut. And although I think we heard mostly the same comments and concerns that at least I've heard and Howard has heard for some time, a couple of things struck me as we went through that. It was pretty obvious to me that the vast majority of people there were in favor of this cut-through. It was also obvious to me that the majority of those people were not happy with the proposed method of payment. And I also heard many of them saying things, and I was sitting in the back so I could hear a lot of conversation. Council, do your job, make the decision, move on. And I sat there reflecting to myself, we never asked for votes in the past for $15 million parking garages, RO plants. We've made the decisions. And I thought that was kind of an interesting comment. The one gentleman that stood up, he said, we live in a beautiful city. We have an incredible dog park. We have harbor walks. We have marina facilities. We have waterfront parks. We have harbor walk. We have bicycle paths. I don't use any of them. But I was happy to pay for them because it made our city a better place and made it more desirable. And I thought, you know, that was kind of an interesting comment. Of course, what he failed to understand was his city tax dollars, if you will, didn't pay for that. It was what I like to refer to as windfall money, money from heaven. It was federal and state grants and 1 cent sales tax that funded all those wonderful enhancements. So he was right in what he was saying, but He didn't understand where the money came from, and frankly, without those windfalls, we wouldn't have any of those enhancements. We just wouldn't, maybe one or two, but not very much. And there's certainly no doubt that those enhancements have made our city more desirable and attractive for current residents, future residents, and so on, and visitors. When the cut-through concept first was brought to the council's attention 9 years ago, 8 years ago, whenever it was, there was no answer to how to fund it. There was only one way, and that was to raise ad valorem taxes because the heavenly money didn't fit this category. So that's why the proposal went back, was come up with an idea, because we didn't have any funds. I do believe that all these amenities are very valuable, and we were very fortunate to get that funding. Now, as a result of this morning's actions, you are about to get a windfall of money that you have to make some decisions what to do with. And I would ask you to seriously consider using some of that windfall money to fund this cut-through. It might be the best investment you do. I've always believed that it will make Punta Gorda in total, whether you're directly affected or indirectly affected, more desirable, more valuable, and all the other reasons that you heard. I think everyone, I would assume that you all understood the safety and all those other points, property values and all that. That just shouldn't come as a bearing to you. But anyway, I asked you to consider that, that thought, that maybe this is a good way to use some of that money. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bill.
And I was wondering what we were going to do with that money.
We didn't even get out of the room to a second meeting.
Jay Buckley, citizen. Thanks, Bill. I couldn't have said it any better. So we'll let that proceed. Hopefully, we're going to see something on the next council's agenda. No, I'm talking now about the lawn. I do all my own lawn work, with the exception of fertilizing and so forth. I do farm that out. But that's why I said $300. I actually got a quote from a gentleman that does thatching, and there's some restrictions with it that he requires, no fertilizing for so long before and after, and your lawn does look terrible when they first do it. But I noticed my lawn was getting really spongy as I was walking with the lawnmower. So it's, maybe some people couldn't afford $300 a year to have it dethatched every year, and I don't know what the solution to that is. But I haven't had it dethatched yet, and I've been mowing the lawn since 2002. One of the problems, I had a confrontation with a contractor that built a house 2 lots away from me. We had no problem, perfect drainage going down to the one grate where it was supposed to go. Contractor came in and he started running his equipment in to build this house. And the equipment was going in on the vacant lot in the swell. About 2 months into the project, and then part of it was during the rainy season, the water was backing all the way up across, and I have a box culvert, and the water was all the way up to where my culvert emptied my water into the swale. And it stayed there for several days. My point to him was, if you can build a $400,000 spec home, you can afford to put a piece of PVC pipe, 12, 16-inch pipe, in the swale, cover it with gravel, the equipment run over that, you remove it when you're ready to put in the driveway, and you use it on your next spec house. Well, fortunately, he was a very cooperative guy. He did put in pipe and then gravel over it, and that was the end of the problem. So no sooner than the house was finished, though, the equipment coming in to remove the big guy,
Asphalt?
container thing, that traffic pushed dirt the wrong way and filled that swell. Well, partially filled it. I still get good, decent drainage, not good. But I think maybe the building department, when they're doing their last checks of that new house, they should require, I mean, there should be some kind of a code or whatever for the depth of that swell, and make that contractor make it right. It's not the new homeowner's problem. It's not my problem. But the contractor created the problem. Now on the fertilization, water, all of our houses are raised above the swell. Doesn't make any difference whether you put the fertilizer in the swale or not. If you fertilize your lawn, that fertilized water is going to run to the swale. So, and the solution for that, I have no idea, but that's the fact. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Hi, I'm David Vogel, and I was kind of asked to run down here and maybe make a few comments. Incidentally, I used to live, my family always used to live on San Pietro Court, and my sons played in that water every time it rained. So you're taking away some fun from some 10-year-olds. But anyway, on a more serious note, I happen to know firsthand about this situation in front of the school. The compressed natural gas facility is planned to go right in front of the middle school, as y'all were just talking. And myself and a lot of others have done a lot of research on that. That parcel where the ag barn has their grazing cows used to be zone residential, RS5. And in 2000, the school needed a place to move their cattle from one side of Carmelita to the other. So the property owner, who was a private citizen, agreed to sell that property to the school so long as it had an exemption to remain grazing. So it had an exemption that ran with the land. When the school bought it, 2 years later, they rezoned it with permission of the city to P for public. So the intention of that property was not to put a gas station on it. It was for cattle grazing for the ag barn, and also extend the ag barn, the bus barns on that side of the road. So my 12-year-old goes to school there. He'll be in high school next year. They could find a much better place that would be fitting for those trucks. Carmelita Street, as most of you know, is 2 lanes. It's just a really terrible location. So I'm just wanting to ask the city if you could really take a close look at this. I think you do have the power to shut that down or put it in some other fitting location.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Another former mayor.
Yeah, hi. Harvey Goldberg for the record. Just want to congratulate the city council on their unanimous decision to support the purchase of that land from Fisherman's Village. It's a visionary decision you made. You should be very proud of it. I'm proud of you for making that decision. This is going to be, but that has potentially is going to be a game changer for the city. And I look forward to seeing it happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I agree as well. A true game changer for this town.
State your name, please.
I'm sorry, Karen Starr Brady at 233 Durrance Street, actually. I want to, again, congratulate you on that very wise decision. And what I think the company left out in their slide presentation was the downstream revenue that the town will experience as well. So I commend everyone on that. One suggestion on those mile markers, I love those. I thought that was great for the walkway. We could probably not use city dollars if we had people make donations to put the markers in. They could say donated by Mr. and Mrs. Jones. So that might be something to take a look at as well. So, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else wishing to speak? Citizens' comments?
That was my neighbor, by the way.
Oh, good. You should recognize it, right? All right, well then, is there anything else to come before council? Are we good? Okay, we are adjourned.
See you in a few. What time you guys gonna get there?
Building.
What time you guys